So now it is that you girls recording. Let's go ahead. Let's jump into this next damn reaction, shall we? Tommy NFG, shout outs to you. Childhood fears. All right, y'all, let's go ahead. Let's get into this next video, y'all. Let's do it.
This world is full of kids that grow up in all different types of ways. Some grow up in mega mansions with custom limo service to school and anything they'd ever want, and others grew up like me in the war-torn battlefields of Detroit with not a dollar to their name, struggling to find their next meal. But everything we all have in common is childhood fears. As a kid, you get scared of things pretty easily because you're still learning the world around you. You don't know what's true and what's not true, which is why creepypastas were scary as like, what are kids getting scared of nowadays online? Huggy Wuggy? Skibbity Toilet? EDP? Real was scared of a collection of random stories you—
I may be old. I may be showing my age when it is like me asking this question. But where did this whole skibbity toilet thing come from? Is this a Gen Z thing? Where did this come from? Because I've been hearing that so much now, and I'm just like, why is this a thing? A pop song? I'm scared of thunder and lightning. 3 of my uncles were struck by it. I mean, that's understandable. That's understandable. It came from a song. Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
You would find on YouTube. I don't even know when they started pumping these stories out to traumatize kids, but it sure worked. One by one.
Is that the name of the new generation? Gen Alpha? That's the name of it? So it's not Gen, so you have millennials, which is me, Gen Z, and you have Gen Alpha? Damn, I'm out here, I can't keep up.
One were new creatures being spawned into this world. Like, you can't tell me you weren't at least a little scared of Slender Man as a kid. Slender Man really had me eyeing every single tall person to make sure they weren't him in secret. Could it be LeBron? Could it be Taylor Swift? Could it be that random tall that wasted all his potential by picking a normal day job and not being in the NBA? Slender Man was such a goddamn goated character and story that they even made a game after this man.
Right, Last of the Elite.
It was so goated that a girl stabbed her friend in the name to appease him. Okay, but that actually is a real story. Probably shouldn't be making that joke. The girl survived, don't worry guys. People who don't survive though are Jeff the Killer's ops. Just the image of Jeff the Killer's fugly face gave me nightmare shakes all night. To this day, they still haven't found the unedited version of this photo. That makes it kind of more scary. This might just be real. Jeff was an OG crash out because if you look back at the story, it goes something like this. He moves to a new town and gets bullied by the school kids. He gets covered in bleach and lit on fire by the school kids. Don't know how you stand still while getting bleach poured on you and lit on fire, but that's besides the point. He wakes up in the hospital with his ugly ass Jeff the Killer face, goes home to carve a smile on his mouth, then kills his parents but doesn't kill the bullies that lit him on fire. Yeah, looking back, a lot of these stories didn't really make any sense, but yeah, it still worked. I probably won't even be able to sleep at night now. By far the most traumatizing one to me was Sonic EXE. As a kid, I was a Sonic blazer. I had all types of Sonic merch around. I used to get around the hoes and try to go supersonic to show them that I'm the alpha. Maybe that's why no woman ever talked to me in school. But when I saw not only a story, but a game turning my favorite franchise into a spine-chilling game experience, I couldn't take it anymore. The music soundtrack alone is... Why the f even make an original soundtrack?
There go Ari in the game. You relax, bro.
Why the f even make an original soundtrack?
Ever since I started rocking the short blue hair, do you know how many people it is who call me Sonic? Like Ari, like dang, Ari the Hedgehog. Ari, this is you right here. Dang, there go Ari in the game. Babs did say it first, but then I heard it from a couple other people as well. I'm like, wow, bro, you know, you didn't have to do this. You didn't have to do this, bro. After like the 4th time, I'm just like, all right, enough is enough, damn it. Enough is enough.
Soundtrack for this. This is the only creepypasta I know with its own original soundtrack. Like this wasn't a creepypasta, it was a horror project. These are the type of creatures you saw when running up the stairs after turning off the light.
I'ma make an edit. For sure.
And that's the next fear, which is darkness. As a kid, I was indeed one of those kids that needed a night light to even be able to sleep. When I say kid, I mean 21-year-old man. I don't give a f. The boogeyman could take y'all's butt, not mine. But it was certain scenarios of the darkness that had you thinking crazy things were about to happen. You can't tell me otherwise that when you turned off the light under the stairs, you didn't bolt out there like your life depended on it.
Yep.
Or turning into Usain Bolt as soon as the switch went off. You never knew what type of creature could spawn in that moment. And it was even worse when you tripped. The times I would trip, I was thinking I was about to get dragged out and eaten with some seasoning by the demons. I really did not play with this stuff. I even had a holy water on the side of my bed in case of emergencies. Because even when you were sleeping, you weren't safe. Everyone had that one moment where the jacket hanged in the corner as a kid turned into a demonic creature straight from hell all of a sudden. I had too many close calls with that. I genuinely think my jacket turned into some monster at times of slump.
Nah, y'all haven't had the worst of this, bro. You know what it is bad when you experience sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis, and then you slightly, like, you move your eyes over to wherever corner of the room is, and you can't tell if that's a pile of clothes, a jacket, something hanging up, or this is somebody that's trying to get you. And of course, sleep paralysis, it's when it is that you wake up before it is that your brain actually does, so your body cannot physically move. And nothing is more scary than that. When you're just sitting there on your back. It usually happens when it is that when you're on your back. That's why I don't sleep on my back at all. You're just sitting there and you're just like, I can't move. You can't move. You can't talk. You can't do anything until it is your body wakes up. And I will have the most nastiest anxiety attacks after that. I'd be so shook. I don't want to advise y'all how it is I get my body out of that, but have I bolted or jolted my body out of sleep paralysis? Yes. And usually that shit hurts badly. You know, I've done it one time to where it is that I did that. I made my body wake up, and I fell off the bed. You know what I mean? And I couldn't make this fast enough to where it is I was able to catch things and land properly and whatnot. So I smacked the floor pretty hard. And I had a whole anxiety attack afterwards, a whole episode. That's just, it's not fun. It's not fun. When I experienced that, I was just like, yeah, nah, nope, not again. Not again, bro. No, I didn't faceplant. No. I didn't faceplant. I definitely hit the side. I hit the shoulder. Definitely hit this shoulder. This is the same shoulder I popped out of place too. I smacked the floor pretty hard, So I chuckled. Sorry. So y'all gonna laugh at my demise. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Yeah, it hurt pretty bad. It hurt really bad.
There could be anything in the fabric of the clothes. I don't know what those Chinese factory kids put in my fabric. And when you left the closet door itty bitty open, it was like you allowed the hellgates to come through. I know y'all have seen Monsters Inc. I was not letting that happen to me. I saw everything in between in that closet door that frightened me to death. I feel like every time I left my closet door open, it would slowly become more open and open, which made it worse. Maybe they were making the doors bigger for inclusivity for fat monsters. Who knows? They could be having whole talks on the phone in there for all I know. But at least they talk on the phone, because another scary feeling was when your mom or dad wasn't answering the phone. As a kid, I feel like everyone remembered their parents' number religiously. The closest thing to calling 911 in an emergency is your parents' number.
I still have my parents' number memorized. And you want to know what's crazy? You want to know what's sorry? My dad messaged me, so I was reading to what it is he said. Yo, you want to know what's crazy? I got both my parents, mom and dad's number memorized. And nothing will piss me off. They call me and I don't pick up my phone. All right, boom. I get a whole lecture of why it is that I didn't answer. Oh no, I'm not in trouble. I sent him a reel on IG that I talked about with traveling and stuff like that. So he said his opinion. But my parents could call me. I don't pick up. I get a lecture. But when I call them and they don't answer, where was you at that is that you couldn't pick up your phone? Oh, well, I was busy, or my phone. I was in the other room. What if something would have happened to me? Okay, what if something would have happened to me? I'm gonna need you to pick up, okay? I don't care what it is you doing. I don't care. I don't care what it is. You pick up every time it is that I answer, that I call. Okay. Now you know how that feel. That's how you know it is. That's how you know it is how I feel. Okay. And then it's just like, well, if you had called a little bit earlier, so it's my fault now. It goes from me pressing them to them gaslighting me to make it seem like it's my fault. All right, cool. But then if I say, oh, I ain't gonna call again, then I'm in trouble. All right.
Shit, my parents told me if something like a school shooting happened, then to call them because the police are gonna give some dumb advice. They kinda right, like, I'm not about to sit in the corner of a classroom while somebody's shooting up the school. I'm bolting the out of there. It was a whole emotional
you
process
got your
if your
gaslighting
mom or
from.
dad didn't answer.
No. You want to know where I got my gaslighting from? Simba. Because I don't be doing that, okay? I don't be doing the whole gaslighting stuff. It be the gang. They gaslight me. So I was just like, all right, cool. I'm about to reciprocate the same energy, bro. The same energy. Sounds about right. Lie again? No. Simba do be gaslighting. Talk about some lie again.
To the phone, but emphasis on mom. Because as a kid, you call your mom for any question. She's like the encyclopedia to you. Shout out to all the mothers out there for putting up with this, because I don't know how y'all deal with it. The first time.
And Babs is acting like it is like he don't be the like, is Simba's D1 gaslighter? You was gaslighting before Simba, but Babs, you be gaslighting too. You be the main instigator. Stop.
You called, it would go like,
huh. That's weird. It usually goes through the first time. She's probably at work or something. I'll call later.
The second time is like,
where the hell is she at? She can't be far from home now. She's probably almost home. Yeah.
And the third time it was like, she's dead. I'm a terrible son. I should have saved. You never knew what could have taken her away in that moment. A random man in a van throwing her in the back, a train accidentally making a wrong turn and hitting her, her car bursting into flames. And meanwhile, the whole reason why she wasn't answering would be something like being in the shower or driving. Something you couldn't recover from though was,
bro, my mom hit me with that literally earlier this week. I called her 2 times, man. 2 times. Because I know my mom, because I be waking up early and I know my mom be up early. I'm like, you ain't got no kids to drop off at school because my brother graduated high school. My sister been done with school 4 years ago. So it's just like, what are you doing to where it is that you can't pick up? And she want to sit there and tell me that she was driving. Woman, if you don't answer your phone when I call, Jesus.
Losing your parents in public. The feeling of doing anything as a kid independently was scary as hell. For example, as a kid, I was told if anyone knocks, then don't answer it. But when I was home alone and heard the smallest knock at the door, I barricaded my whole house like a fallout shelter. No.
Hey, listen. When my mom used to say this to me, my mom put the fear of Jesus in when she said this, she was like, hey, listen, I'm gonna be gone because I gotta go to work. You don't answer this door, not even from me. Okay? You hear the doorbell ring, you better not answer that phone, answer that door. And I'm just like, okay. Now, mind you, my mom pulled a doozy on me one time. She actually said, all right, well, I'm gonna go on to work. Okay. Boom. She closes the door. She waits for like a minute. Now, I wasn't paying attention to the door. I was doing homework. I was doing my homework. This is 3rd grade. I'll never forget this. She actually rang the doorbell right afterwards because my mom didn't have her license at that point. She was waiting for her cabs and stuff like that. So she went outside. She rang the doorbell, and then I looked, right? I looked, and I went back to my seat as if like it is I didn't do anything. She come back inside the house. She's like, so you have sense? And she walked out the door. My mom put the fear of Jesus in me for doing that. I don't know why it is she did that to me. I don't know why she did that. I can laugh about it now. Where did the sense go?
No single branch of the military could come through with me there. So when I would go to the store and check another aisle only to go back and see my mom gone, I felt like I was gonna have to get ready for war. That old man walking with a shopping cart, he might just be a pedo. That 6'2" guy in the vegetable aisle, he might just lick my ass. It felt like you should have gotten an achievement just for finding your mom in the store. Like, genuinely, she would be at an entire other end out of nowhere. But when you find her, if she hits you with the "we need to talk," you knew it was GG's. The whole phrase of "we need to talk" growing up only had two outcomes. Either one, getting yelled at ferociously, or two, getting whooped. There was never an actual scenario where I got a "we need to."
Mind you, I see my mom answer texts and calls while driving on the highway. So when she said that excuse, I'll be waiting to raise my voice, but I can't, of course. Right. I'm like, Mom, like, maybe because it is my mom has an older car, but with my dad, there's no excuse. You can literally hook it up to the car. You literally can hook up the phone call to the car. So for you to sit there and be like, "Oh well, I'm sorry, I was driving." Don't use that excuse. Don't use that excuse, because I know it is you could pick up.
Talking and ended up peacefully and positively. What the f was even the point of saying it if you knew you were gonna do anything but talk? It set your fate on what the outcome was gonna be already. Something that set your fate with never pulling your crush was falling in school. Falling anywhere in public is already embarrassing alone. The act of thudding on the ground and everyone looking at you like who are you looking at? If you're not about to help, then back the f up. But when it's in school, you know exactly how it goes. You trip and a group of start laughing at you, not helping at all. Your crush walks by simultaneously watching you struggle to get up, and you gotta live with that moment for the rest of your life. Every time I tripped when I was in school, I've never forgotten it to this day. It plays on loop in my brain sometimes. And don't have something like books in your hands, because now you're gonna be scrambling all on the ground to pick them up, and people just walking by, stepping all over them, like move the f away, not giving a single f about your pieces of property. See, I was a nice guy. I would feel bad if somebody had that happen. I would be the one person to actually help them. And the more younger you were in school, the more immature the kids were. If you were in elementary school, they would start dancing on your books. In middle school, they would kick them all around the floor and piss on them. Okay, I'm probably over-exaggerating. What I'm not exaggerating about, though, was the fear of adults. I don't know if it was just me growing up, but adults seem way more, adulty than nowadays. Like, I remember being told as a kid to respect adults, and any sign of disrespect was a grave sin. If I ever told them a lie, I was gonna be immediately banished to hell for the rest of my life. Nope. I used to think every adult with a job had their life fully together and could be fully authoritarian due to that. And now that I'm grown and see quote-unquote adults my age and even older, I realized soon enough that none of them knew what the f they were doing. And
absolutely not, especially with parenting, bro. Especially if you're the first. Mind you, I'm the oldest, so I was the first one to come out. You know what I'm saying? Parenting is very, like, just, it's trial and error. It really is. Now, by like the second or the third kid, you know what I'm saying? Things, you kind of have some things figured out. I'm gonna say kind of, because not everybody can. Everybody's parenting style is a little bit different. But I know for a fact with me, there was a lot of stuff with trial and error where it is like, you know, okay, this worked. Okay, what it is you used for your first child is probably not going to work for the next one. Everybody has their own ways of processing like information and dealing with certain things and stuff like that. But I'm gonna tell you this: some of these adults be lying like shit, okay? They be lying like shit. Because when I had to talk to my mom about this, because there were some teachers that used to lie on my name, and my mom would be like, "Well, the teacher wouldn't lie." Yes, the fuck they do. A double wham, bro. Somebody speeding and the ambulance behind me. Jesus. Teachers deadass be lying, bro. And it wasn't until my mom had to experience this with a ticket. Like, she was in the school zone. She got pulled over. Boom. She only 5 miles over the speed limit. She was only doing 30 on the 25. Boom. The police officer put like 15 miles like above that to what she was doing. And she was just like, no, that's not what it is that I did. I was like, yeah, it's not fun when it is you get lied on with your name, right? Remember when it is I was a kid and I got lied on with a teacher, but you didn't want to believe me? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I threw a desk at a teacher for calling me a hard R. I'm not going to say this because it is, I don't want to be promoting anything, but like, you know, sometimes it is, you got to let it be known that it's like, you ain't going to take that level of disrespect. I don't care if you're an adult or not. Call me out of my name and then you going to see what's up. you're gonna see these hands one way or another. In GTA, of course.
Low-key, some adults would demand respect just off being older. I feel like I saw it a lot more growing up than nowadays. Like, these really thought just because they were older, they knew exactly everything in life. And it's not even like I'm saying kids should be disrespectful to people older than them and never listen to them. It's more of them acting at a higher complex and acting like they were right in every situation. Every kid knew one stuck-up adult like that. Like, if you had some strict-ass parents, you would know that any chance to defend yourself from something was 0%. Because any sign of talking back to someone older than you was
absolutely unheard of.
You were found guilty on all accounts with no evidence. It also depends on the culture you come from. Like, if your parents were immigrants, it was 10 times worse for you. They came from their country to another country and birthed you, and that's all the respect they needed to give you. Something worse than not respecting them, though, was forgetting to take the chicken out the freezer. Everyone had that moment where they got the call to do one simple task. Take the chicken slash and meat out the freezer. And as a kid, you know, this is on the lower end of tasks you have to do. But it was like every time you got told to do it, 5 minutes later you completely forgot. The whole memory of the call completely evaporated out your brain. And it was only 10 minutes before she got home, your spider senses tingled and you suddenly remembered. Now you gotta use every single method to defrost it as soon as possible. I had to pull out a flamethrower once just to get it done. And this is one of those things where I actually understand why the parent would get mad. Like, you give one simple task to your child after a grueling day of work with your boss being an asshole and they can't even do it. I would be on crash out mode too. But hey, I'm gonna end it right there. Let me know what else I missed for a potential part 2. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys consensually. And until next time, I'm out.
A flamethrower is crazy, gang. I ain't gonna lie with you. A flamethrower is crazy. But I feel like we've all had those moments of the chicken, taking the chicken out of the freezer. I know it is that I did. I probably remembered an hour beforehand my mom came home, and what I did, got that hot water, which apparently you're not supposed to do. I ran the hot water on that chicken for the longest time until it is, I'm just like, okay, I think this is good enough. And apparently you're not supposed to do that. You know what I mean? I would have done the same thing. Hey, you can't do that. You know what I mean? You got to let it defrost on its own. You can't be applying heat and stuff because you're technically you're cooking it. Technically. So you know what I mean? So, Tommy and G, thank you so much for the video. Appreciate you. Shout outs to you, gang. Shout outs to y'all in the chat. And shout outs to you at home. Ooh, I'll catch you in the next video.
Oh,